If you could press a button and receive $1 million, but one stranger will die, would you press the button? And if so, how many times?
Would I be able to find out who died? Like by stranger, is it going to be some sort of like
it's not a trick. It's not a monkey's paw trick
where it's like, oh, it's gonna be a stranger, but like it's gonna be somebody that's gonna like affect your life later down the road, or like could it just be like someone random, like from another country that
literally just imagine every single person on life at that given moment is given a number and a random number generator picks one. Okay, yeah, but it can't be you. You gotta roll them. Yeah. Are you rolling them dice, my man? How many times?
Yeah, like 2 or 3 times.
You're gonna hit the button 2 or 3 times?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I think okay, so you're right there. I think you no. I think you're right on. There's there's kind of 3 answers for this question. There is you don't hit the button, you hit the button 2, 3 times, or you hit the button a fuck ton. And before it seems like an obvious moral distinction, good, gray, bad. It's not necessarily that simple. Because let's say I hit the button 50 times, I kill 50 people, and I get $50 million. How many lives can I save with $50 million? More than
quite
50.
a few. If you distribute those funds and invest them correctly, and do what you're supposed to do with them, you could save a lot more lives than you could. And there's a very high chance that it could be you could be killing a rapist somewhere, or
okay, but yeah, that's random. You could also be killing someone super awesome too. So we're just I'm not gonna whatever. Death is random enough anyway that the randomness of it makes it fair in my opinion.
Exactly. How many people die in freak accidents every day? That's just one of those things. This is
so you're actively choosing to end that life.
Yeah, I could live with that.
Okay, well, what are you using that $2 to $3 million for? Is it to save 2 to 3 humans that don't include you?
I would probably end up doing that. I would feel. I think
you would have to. That would have to be like the base.
You would I would feel guilt for a while about it. So I feel like right out of the gun, I would probably put that money into funding for the disabled, or like something that involves like maybe like battered women's shelters or something like that.
You would use it in a way to create a bigger positive impact than a negative impact. So
yeah, at the beginning, I wouldn't use all the. I would use a good like couple $100,000. You know what I mean? Make sure that I know my money is gonna be. That's the thing. I'm not just gonna give it to an organization. I would probably like be directly involved in making sure that my money went where I wanted it to go.
So I would say you're right there in the middle, and this is the debate. In an ethical debate, if you want to binarize, spectrumize it, it's Kantian ethics on one end and utilitarianism on the other. And I'd say you're right there in the middle of mild utilitarianism. Yeah, you can do some bad to do some good. The pure utilitarian would hit that button like 1,000 times,
right?
Because they could do so much. And Kantian ethics would never hit the button. So that's interesting. Yeah, so I'm a slightly, and neither is right or wrong. It's just totally one of those things that's just perspective and opinion based. So I'm a slightly farther down the utilitarian side of the spectrum than you probably. So I'd probably hit it a couple times, but I wouldn't just be hitting it 1,000. I probably wouldn't hit it that many times. But I do it enough that I can make a huge impact to enough people to make it worth it.
Right.
So
that's understand.
Yeah, we're in similar. You're a little bit, like I said, you're a little bit I think you're slightly more central on that spectrum than I am, which is just an interesting difference between us. But I don't know. I don't think anyone's a bad person for wanting to hit the button. As long as I don't know. I think it has to come with the caveat that that person feels some sort of responsibility to, at least in utilitarian terms, break even. I mean, anyone who's just going to be like, oh, it doesn't matter, and I'm going to take the money and spend it on myself, yeah, you're a little bit of a dick.
Yeah. And I kind of live in this area. Like, I have this frame of mind where, like, I want to exist on the earth to I don't want to be in people's way. I don't want to be the center of attention or anything like that. Like I don't want to own a big business and hire a bunch of employees. You know what I mean? I want to just kind of do my own thing, hang out in
You
the
want to
fringes.
see the impacts as you make them.
Yeah, and I think that, and this, I mean, some people might agree with this, some people might not, but I would probably put that money towards environmental efforts because in my eyes, that's more important than the ever increasing population of humanity. Like we're just
No,
fucking,
you're not wrong, but I
popping
like
out
the
kids.
opinion.
We're popping out kids and just destroying the planet in the process. Like, and nobody seems to realize that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, a couple deaths, and then we get to not. I mean, obviously, my $500,000 isn't going to alter the state of environmentalism, but I think that kind of, if I was able to put that money towards something like that, that would be a more positive impact on the earth as a whole than losing.
It's effectively targeted.
Yeah.
Very much. Very much. I like that. I like that a lot.